Hello, welcome back again to this part of internship guide. Um, in this part of the internship guide, I would want to explain some few things from the data set that we were given and specifically the marketing data set. And this question that is being asked is for us to find patterns, like analyzing the sales trend using this marketing.csv. As a data analyst, it is your responsibility to find patterns, typically depending on the industry that you're working with or you're working in. Since we are working with the e-commerce industry, it's necessary for you to understand how sales processes, repeatedly goes on, and the automation of all these processes will help a business to without a data analyst or without insights from the data, which is automatically generated every single day because of due to transactions carried out by these customers, it will be difficult for company to know where and where to invest their resources into. In terms of, let's say, facilities, operations, and or maybe adding more stock to the store, and maybe investing more money into campaigns, running campaigns and running, paid adverts. So as a data analyst, you have this data set called the marketing.csv, which was given to you by a company, and you have to analyze the sales trend. What I mean by sales trend is finding a particular month in a year where we had maybe the highest number of sales, so you could communicate with the company and helping them to make better decisions on their business. All right. So how do we do this? Now we have this data set called the marketing.csv, and what we did here, this is Python, pandas, and then we imported the package. These are different libraries or packages, the pandas, numpy, matplotlib, and seaborn. So these are data analysis libraries in Python we've imported, and I created a variable called the market data here, and then read the CSV from my directory, and I decided to pass date. That is, we are converting this to date so we could carry out some date operations, such as fetching the month from there. You can fetch the day, you can fetch the year from here. So having done that, we have this whole data set. Looking closely, every campaign will have their unique campaign ID with their name, the date in which we started this campaign. Now we have the end of the campaign. So this single campaign could be to run ads and target people. For example, let's come back home. You have a product you are selling. Let's say you are an e-commerce person selling beauty product, and this is a campaign you are running to sell Goko bitters. Let's just say Goko bitters, or even sexual awareness products. Now, this campaign we targeted from the company. The company targeted this audience, adults. So, and there is no specific details of the age bracket of these adults. We just know these are adults. We have youth, these have seniors, we have everyone. Everyone includes all the adult, the youth, senior. All right. And then this is the amount of the budget. In fact, this is the start date of the campaign on the 19th of October 2022. And then this campaign ended about 17th of January 2024. So if we are to check this is the sales that was generated. So this is the sales that was generated. You can find it here. And then this is the target audience. This is the target audience. Now, this is the budget for the ad. This was the ads budget to be spent. And then this is the total amount that was spent. So from here, we would love to calculate and get the number of days that this campaign was running. From 2022, 19th of October till this time, how many days is that? So for us to achieve that, we would have to calculate what is called the campaign duration. So you create a custom column. If you are using Power BI, you create a custom column using Power BI. For Excel, you can create a column, and then using Power Query, you do that, and then market data, subtracting the end date minus the start date, and this is the formula to extract the days. actually, once you do this, you'll be getting like you should be getting 486 days. But since we use this time and then we only want to get the days, we want to extract out those texts. So we only get these values here. All right. So if I happen to remove this, for example, let me remove this. And then I decide to run this. You see what we have here? We have 486 days. 486 days. So for us to extract and remove all these days, we just run this and we have 486. So we have here 486 days. This is the total number of days that this campaign was running. Now, this gives us more insight on what we can do with the data set. Now, for us to plot, um, actually, we can use this to compare or find a correlation between the campaign duration and the sales generated. I mean, between the campaign duration and the sales generated. So you could really tell from here. So we can plot a scatter plot using this data called the market data. Then the x-axis could be our duration, campaign duration, that's in days, and then the number of sales generated. Please take note that the number of sales generated is a sum of everything. Number of sales generated is going to be the sum, right? Since we are using scattered plot, it's actually giving us the points, all right, the different points of sales generated. Now we can see that we can see this. This should be for everyone, and I think it gave us the highest number of sales generated. Okay, so let's run this to see. So this gave us the highest number of sales generated, and this should be approximately this 500, 600. For the campaign duration, this could be about 500 and something. All right, 500 and something. The length of the days gave us that. Should be around this 559. That gave us 1,000 sales. So 559 gave us 1,000 sales. So here we have this other method called the regression plot. And this regression plot is going to draw the line so we could find patterns here. So there's a correlation between the campaign duration and then the sales that is generated. Okay. As you can see, this plot helps us to understand whether longer or shorter campaigns tends to generate more sales. So we can really see, now this can be very useful for planning future marketing strategies. Very, very important. So this is a plot and it's showing the correlation between campaign duration and the sales which is generated. And this plot includes a regression line. So this is a regression line to indicate the trend. All right. So as a data analyst, this is a very important skill that you need to know while carrying out data analysis. You can actually achieve this. You can achieve this in Excel. You can achieve this in Power BI as well. But I really love to use Python pandas to do my work. Now we have this hue, and then we can really see the different colors here generated for us. So looking at this 1,000, I mean this red, we can see that when the marketing team or the digital marketers started this campaign, they targeted everyone. I mean, not specific to use, it's not for seniors, but for everyone. And everyone gave us the highest number of sales. And not just that, so we could see that there's a correlation between the target audience. There's also a correlation between the campaign duration. So the campaign duration affected the number of sales. But we can also see here that we had campaigns that were of lesser duration, but we still have about almost 800, right? Almost 800, above 800 sales that was generated. So we can, from here, we don't really think that the higher the number of days, because even here we can see about 600 and something above 600 and something days, we still had the number of sales that is even below 200, below 100. In fact, less than that. Okay. Now, this can also help us further to tell the company that we do not really have the enough data to tell what really caused a high number of sales. But actually, yeah, so basically what you do is to make researches, just make researches how to find correlation using, pandas, Python pandas. Now we have ways to do that. Now, if you happen to analyze um, this graph very well, when you are, building correlation coefficient, you should be having about minus 0.26, which therefore means that the correlation, this is a negative correlation. Now, from the basic knowledge of advanced mathematics, we have the correlation and the regression coefficient. So this is a negative correlation, which suggests that longer campaigns do not really may be associated with slightly lower sales, right? As you can see from this graph, although the correlation is weak. So negative correlation means that the correlation is weak. And it implies that simply extending the duration, the duration of a campaign, does not necessarily lead to a higher sales, because this is what we can see here. Extending the duration may not really lead to higher sales. In this case, we have about 600 and something days as campaign duration, but we have a lesser number of sales. So, and could in some cases have the opposite effect. What we mean by opposite effect is that even lowering the campaign duration can also lead to, for example, less than 400 days. We can see this guy here. We targeted youth. That means something related to youth product, and we had a high number of sales, almost 900 and above number of sales. All right. So there are many factors that could affect sales, such as the product. For example, we talk about seasons. That is why we need to start. We had to go about analyzing seasonal trends. There are some products that you sell. In fact, you can extend, for example, if you are running at selling Christmas products in the month of February till even till April, you may not really have a high number of sales, irrespective of the fact that the duration, the campaign duration is even much. All right. So this is basically kind of insight you should be getting from data as a data analyst. But you can run a campaign of, for in this case, less than this is in days, right? Less than 200, and you can see we have about more than 800 cells. So there are other factors that could affect the cells that was generated apart from the duration of this campaign. Now we also have this analysis of sales trend. So what you basically do is, create a new column called the month and the year using this code, and then extract the month and the year to create a new column. So this is the first 5 records here. Now you group by year and month because we are looking at finding the trend in years, all right, in months to say. And now we are applying this aggregate function to as sales generated column. We want to sum the total sales based on the year and then the month. Now we have this data set here. We decided to use the reset index. Without this reset index, what pandas will do for us, it will now pick year, for example 2022, it will pick it as an index and then group this thing for us. But that's not what we are doing. Okay, let's just look at what we'll be getting if we run this query. We should be having the year 2022, so it's turning it to an index here, and that's not really what we want. So we would like to reset that index by using the reset index method, and we get this data set, and then so we can use the line plot using Seaborn line plot to generate this cell. So from here we can know the particular month that we had the highest number of cells generated. The total. When my total is actually the summation of these cells generated, because we are using the seasonal data set. We are not using this market data. We are using the seasonal data set that after must have grouped with the year and the month. So this is basically what we have here. In between 10 and here is about, let's say, 9, a month of almost September here. We can find that here, September. We had the highest number of sales, about 4,100, and this. In which year? 2022. We can see this hue we are huing it by or categorizing it by year. So that's why we can see the color this thing generated for us 2020. So in the year 2022, within this month of September, we had the highest number of sales. Right, so this will help the business owners to know how to get prepared for subsequent years that are coming. Because if you are to go into data science, I mean predicting, writing models that will predict what will happen in the future, we can really tell if subsequent Septembers in subsequent months we'll be having such number of sales, and it could tell them to get ready for logistics. I mean, they have to budget the money for delivery men, right? And also even increasing the size of their warehouse so they could bring in more items in store. So this is basically what you should be thinking about as a data analyst. I'm really glad that you took time to go through this lengthy video. Right, so see you some other time.